Do you ever think about how you're spending your money, the habits that you have around money, and just how the habits and the way you handle your money are what can lead you to having good finances or bad finances? I'm not saying that you're going to be poor. I'm not going to say that you're being rich. I want to help you become the person you want to be, not only in who you are, but also with your money, your finances, in every area of your life. So welcome back to Balance While Blooming. I'm here to share all the money habits with you. Not only do we talk finance over here, we talk about personal development. We share how to balance all the areas of your life and bloom into your best self and be the person that you want to be. And the first step of that is really just understanding every single aspect of your life. And all this month we are sharing money. So check out my other finance videos. We have talked about how I handle my money. Emergency funds are coming up. We do our monthly budgets, and check out all the finance videos that are to come. But finance is not the only side of your life, but it is so important. I'm one person that's going to say the money does not make the world go round. I understand that. I know that. But having that financial freedom is something that everyone should be able to either be working towards or have, because you don't want to be living paycheck to paycheck. I will say we don't live paycheck to paycheck. We are not financially free. I can't just go and spend whatever I want and feel free, but we are working on our good money habits that lead us to be in the financial situation that we are. And finances is just one area of our life that we focus on, but I think it's so important to know the habits that you have around money, because we all have the personal development, we all have the wellness, health habits, but I think a lot of people forget about their money habits or just overlook them. So I'm going to start with the bad, and then we're going to end with the good. So let's jump right into the bad money habits. First one's first is overspending on your credit cards. If you are a credit card person, great. Don't let it accumulate. You know what to do. You want to make sure that you are being responsible and paying it off immediately. But there are people who are just not credit card people, and that is okay. And you don't need to swipe for things that you literally do not have the money for, or you are just impulse buying. You can use it for points, cash back, and even rewards, but only if you are swiping to stay in budget, right? We use credit cards for everything. It's how we track every single transaction. But I watch how I manage my money, because over there I share how I talk about my credit cards and my spending, because I track it every week or every 2 weeks to make sure that I'm staying on budget and that we're not overspending on our credit cards. And when we do, we need to adjust and adapt our spending to make sure that we stay within our budget. Next is ignoring your finances overall. This is something that I really want so many people to understand, that ignoring your finances, no matter if you're in a good or bad situation, you need to know it all. You need to lay it all out, know exactly where you are and where your goals are and where you're going to go. So knowing where you currently are and know where you want to go, you need to create that budget for the debt, the loans, the bills, the income. All of those things need to, and start the journey today so that you know where you want to go and how you're going to get there, and setting a plan and knowing your finances inside and out to always feel in control. Next is stop shopping for status. Status is something that I think people are always trying to go, but I want you to feel confident in yourself, and watch my video about confidence, because you need to feel confident from within. It should not be the designer bags. It should not be your trending outfits. It should not be what other people think. No more of that. Now it's time to discover yourself. What makes you happy? Now, there are people who love designer bags or designer shoes or designer in general. Now, if that's in your budget, great, but I don't want you to do it for a status or to feel good about yourself and feel like you fit in, because you don't know other people's situations. And just because they're walking around with a designer or trendy outfit does not mean that they're in a good financial situation or even successful when it comes to money. So just really think about when you're shopping for status. The next one is emotional spending. It is really important that you aren't using shopping and spending your money as an escape. We need to figure out what the reason for our impulse spending is and what triggers it, and create a shift for those triggers, such as walking, journaling, or something else that will help you get through that time that isn't swiping your card or spending money when you don't need to. And that's something that if it's something that really bothers you, maybe go talk to someone, figure it out. There's so many people who go to counseling or therapy to talk about where they have psychologically with money, because there's so much psychology in money of where you grew up and how you grew up and how they handled money and how you currently handle money. And if you don't have the power to step up and learn yourself, maybe someone can help you what those triggers are so that you can learn and feel good if you feel like it's something internal and more than just impulse. And the last bad habit is not saving. It's not all or nothing. I want you to put a few dollars a week, even 10, 20 bucks, and start small and then plan it out, not only for you now, but for the future you. Savings is all about who you want to become, what you're saving up for, and what luxuries in life that you want to spend on. Now, the $5 coffee is not a luxury. The impulse spending is not a luxury. Maybe it's a trip. Maybe it is a new car. Whatever it is, I want you to not live paycheck to paycheck. I want you to start saving into an emergency fund, but also sinking funds as well, to be able to live that life of balance of the things you want with the things you need, because that is so important when you are trying to shift from who you are now to who you want to be. What are those wants, but what are the current needs that you need to balance out, and how do you get from here to there, right? We need to figure that out. And now let's jump right into all the good, and I will talk about these a bit more. I want to speed through the bad because yes, they're bad, and yes, we need to learn from them, but a lot of these align, and let's create the good habits for financial freedom, and not let's talk about them and let's realize the bad and let's work on those, but the good, let's keep doing those habits every single day or every single week to make sure that we are becoming our best financial self in whatever way that means for you is going to be what you need to do. So let's talk about the good. Okay, so we're talking about the good. The first one is how to spend, right? We need to plan our purchases. We need to make sure that we are not impulse spending, that we are not using money that we can't have right now. And really, part of your savings plan should be planning those spending and purchases and making sure that the big and the small purchases are planned out, that they're in the budget, and then you have the money to pay them off immediately. Now, of course, that's not available for everything, but as much as possible that you can pay with cash, even if you use a credit card and you pay it off right away, that you are making sure that you are getting everything you want in life, but staying within that budget and making sure that you are not impulse spending, as we said before. The next one is financial literacy and education. Now, I am someone who is just average. I am not giving you financial advice. I just share what I do for my life. But there are so many experts out there in the world that are sharing their thoughts, their feelings, and their teachings. Now, I don't want you to think, well, I know everything. No, you don't know what you don't know. And that's the thing. We need to be continuously learning about finances, learning about budgeting, what's new in investing, and so much more, and how you can become financially free. And having that financial literacy and knowledge is what's going to give you the power to step in. So not only does that mean financial books, courses, videos, but also if you feel up to it, get a financial advisor. Make sure that you're going to a CPA for your taxes, that you are setting yourself up for the finance side of your life as much as possible that fits within your means, right? You want to make sure that you are getting the most bang for your buck and that you are financially knowledgeable to live the best life that you can. And that's part of your blooming and growing, and your knowledge is part of that is your finances, as that's always an area of every single person's life. Of course, they're going to be different, but it's going to depend. Talking about being financially illiterate, making sure that you know if you are a credit card person, if you are the type of person who can hold a credit card, because paying off debt immediately is a must, because interest is a killer and freedom is when you honestly do not owe anything to anyone. Of course, you can manage and budget your spending and planning when you use your credit card, as long as you are paying it off immediately. And that is so important, because you can gain the points, you can gain the rewards, and you can gain the cash back without having to pay anyone interest ever. Now, my husband and I have had credit cards for over a year, and it's boosted our credit. We always have a zero balance, and I don't think I've ever paid interest other than 1 month. And since then, I make sure that I have a day in my calendar for each day when they roll over, that I make sure it's paid off, and we don't overspend on anything to make sure that happens. But with that being said, pay off your car, pay off your home if you can. Your home is something that I think is a longer investment. I think that debt, as long as you have a low interest rate, is okay. But I recommend every single loan that you have, no matter what percentage, car loan, student loan, all of those, to pay it off immediately. And with that being said, once you stop owing anyone, you can pay yourself first. Balance your savings, some for the future, some for those rainy days, and some for those wants. Rainy days are just when you're bored. Some of those wants are big trips, vacations, a new car, right? When you start paying yourself first to be able to do the things you want, you're going to feel so much happier. And no matter if it's a small amount or a big amount, it's for what you want in life. And paying yourself first is going to make you feel like you aren't just working for someone else. First off, find your passions, find your hobbies, put your money into that, and that's what you can pay yourself for. But also pay yourself first when you get paid. Make sure part of that is going into money for things that you want. Not all your money should go into your needs, and I think that's so important, because so many people are like, pay off the debt, pay off. Yes, of course, you want to make sure that you are in a financial situation where you feel the best and that you know that you are financially okay, but you want to stop living paycheck to paycheck. You need to get more income. You need to start cutting back on some of those bigger expenses and really figure those out. But once you get to that point where you don't owe anyone anymore, it's time to pay yourself, because that habit right there is going to make you so fulfilled and so happy with your financial situation. And last is setting those financial goals and plans. And this is so important when it comes to the longevity of your life, because what do you really want? Long term, short term? What do you want that your money can go towards? Now, do you want to be a landlord? Do you want to be an investment property owner? Do you want to run a business? Do you want just a bunch of hobbies? Do you want to long term just be able to travel 2 weeks to extravagant places through your 9 to 5 for your 2-week vacation? Whatever it is for you, I'm not going to change your goals, but make sure that you are setting financial goals for yourself. For us, it's always to do 1 quarter of a weekend with my stepson and 1 time a year for my husband and I to go on a trip. But then we also want to make sure that we have our long-term goals, such as buying our house. We want to make sure that we have those bigger trips planned, that we have our emergency fund, that we have everything that we need. And when you do this, you need to set a plan, check in with yourself, and execute the plan every single time. You can always adjust your plan, you can adjust from where you are, and really change how you are looking at your money. All of these habits are to let you know where you kind of sit in that financial literacy. Are you doing some of these bad habits? Are you overspending with money and impulse spending? Are you ignoring your finances overall and you need to learn how to do a budget? Do you need to really sit with yourself and understand why you're not saving? Where is your money going? And really where you're spending. Is it emotional? Is it for trend? What is it? And kind of shift those into the good habits where you plan those purchases that you want, that you have the financial knowledge and literacy, that you pay your debt off immediately so you don't owe anyone, and that you pay yourself first for the things that you want. And all of those go around setting goals for yourself and setting a plan and executing them. And these goals can be as small or big as you want, but the habits that you do with your money are going to depend on how quickly you get those goals, how quickly you're going to get the things you want, and how quickly you get to become the person you want financially. Because not only is there multiple areas of your life, there's financial, there's knowledge, there's your life. You want to be financially free as soon as possible and really let go of the stress of money, because once you start doing some of these habits, you are going to feel a little bit free. Finances are one of the biggest stressors in not only relationships but in people overall, because it is hard when you don't know how to handle your money or you just feel uncomfortable when it comes to talking about money. Sit down with yourself, and even if it's just a one-on-one conversation, do that, because changing your habits on your money do not need to be big things, but you need to take the time to understand your money, where it's going, and how to create the habits that are going to make you live the life you want. So as always, please let me know what other videos you guys want to see. We are in Finance February, so subscribe to watch more finance videos. And then in March, don't worry, coming soon in a couple weeks, we are right back into personal development, understanding yourself, setting routines, planning, and so much more. And if you guys want to see a little bit of a mixture of both right now, follow me over on Instagram. I share almost daily over there, and I love connecting with you guys. And as always, keep blooming, keep balancing your life, and figuring out how to become your best self in every single area of your life. And I will see you guys soon. Bye, guys.